So, Lisa, you have this incredible documentary feature coming out, and I want to hear all about it. I'm so excited.
So listen, thank you. And thank you for inviting me on.
Of course, of course.
So we're here to talk about Truman in Tennessee, an intimate conversation, which is my latest film. And it's on the writers Truman Capote and Tennessee Williams. And when we were creating the film, we really wanted to create a moment in time, an intimate, like almost like where there's a tete-a-tete between these two great literary giants. And as the audience, we're just eavesdropping in on their conversation. And I have to say, it was such an exciting project for the team because, first of all, we weren't creating a biopic. We were really creating something that's with the words of these two literary greats. And so between these words and then all of this kind of wonderful footage we found that is from archival and footage that we created ourselves, we really were able to have this rhythm in the film that is both visual and literal, which was really nice.
And what would you say was the biggest challenge about making the film?
I would say that, I don't know if there is a challenge. We wanted to make sure that both Truman and Tennessee were equal and that we were telling enough of their stories. I think everybody always says, well, why don't you bring this? Why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? And since we were not doing a biopic, we really kind of focused in on certain things. And so it was really about us editing out and creating the story that we wanted to say. And what's always interesting is that when you have either, if it's writers or researchers or even other filmmakers, when we're all using the same material, we always tell stories. We're different storytellers. And so we chose to tell the story this way. And so it wasn't a challenge, but there's certainly, you always have to edit out what you want or what you don't want. And so there's always, I think it always a very consistent problem.
Now, was there any footage you wanted to add that didn't quite make it into the film?
Not really, because, we used we shot a lot with the bullets, so we created our own, and we had, and I only wanted to use a certain amount of footage, of archival footage, because I really wanted to be layered and to be dreamy, and so that you had the words kind of creating this world, and then we had the visual assets that created a different world. And not really, I feel lucky that I found all the archival material that I could. We had this wonderful wealth of imagery from a photographer by the name of David Atty, he was a photographer who worked with the art director Alexei Brodovich, and so there are these wonderful distorted images from the 50s and 60s. And I always feel lucky to be able to have this really very special archival material.
And since you did feature these two literary greats, what's your favorite literary work from each one?
Well, I would say definitely for Truman Capote, it's In Cold Blood, just because it's bone chilling. I remember reading it when I was younger, then when I was an earlier adult, and then a later adult when I was working on this film. And it's still, you put it down and you're just completely scared and petrified over it. And I think of all Tennessee Williams, I would say The Glass Menagerie, because it's so much a vision of his inner self. And although Streetcar Named Desire is also not bad, because he does say he is both characters, and so I would say probably both of them, Glass Menagerie and Streetcar Named Desire for Tennessee.
And what do you hope people take away from watching this film, because it's just so incredible? But what do you hope how the audience react?
The reason that we really wanted to make the film was we wanted to be able to use the words of both Truman and Tennessee, and it's about the literary words. And I think that what happens sometimes in history, things become slightly skewed, and the memory of some of these great personalities can be based on their outward personality, which was, at the end of their lives, both of them were unfortunately addicts, and there was a lot of talk about that. And we forget about their written word, and their written word is what's important. And I really wanted to put the focus on that. And I also wanted to bring and focus on the fact that, they were both children of addicts. And this is a really important problem to discuss. And it's also something in our society that can be addressed and taken care of in an easier fashion than it was when they were both alive.
And what's your next project that you're working on? I mean, this is getting ready to debut and I'm so excited about it, but what's next for you?
I'm going to stay in the world in words, and I think I'm going to challenge myself with Richard Stein.
Oh, wow. That is an amazing choice. What made you decide to go with that one?
I have been thinking about her for a while, and I have to say, I love the fact that it's a mix of words and art. And those are, I don't stray very far from my path of things that I love. And, but I really wanted, I loved her relationship with Alice B. Toklas, and very complicated relationship with her brother. And it kind of brings all of my worlds together that I love so much.
Nice. And one thing I like to ask people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Well, a fun fact, I'm not born in Paris, okay, because in Wikipedia it says I'm born in Paris. I am not, okay, I'm born in Milan, Italy. So that, I'm not sure how fun it is, but, you know, I don't know, what's a fun fact? I think I have picked, in the films that I've made, I've picked very many characters who have reinvented themselves. And I think that I have reinvented myself many times. I wanted, as a child, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I ended up studying art history, worked in fashion. Now I'm a filmmaker. So I guess I've reinvented myself. So there must be a reason I'm attracted to these characters.
True, yeah. And if you were to reinvent yourself again, what would you do?
No, I'm not quite sure. For me, it's about passion, and it's about passion leading anything I do. And I think I've done, in all of my different phases of reinvention, I've been passionate about every one. I really like this. I really enjoy being in a situation that I can learn. And making films allows me to learn continuously. And so I do enjoy it. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what I would do.
And since we're also a TV and movie site, what are you watching these days in terms of TV and movies?
Let's see. Well, most recent, well, I did watch Mayor's Town because it was absolutely the most brilliant thing. I watched something I really enjoyed was La Veneno. I don't know if you watched La Veneno. It was really, really good. We had obviously a big pandemic year of watching, and I loved that. I would say that was probably one of my favorite things. But I have to say that Mayor's Town, Kate Winslet, she was pretty damn fabulous.
She really is. I mean, everything she's in, she puts so much passion and power into that. Can't help but just fall in love with her in everything that she does.
Yes, yes. And she doesn't shy away from any of these things. And I don't think I've ever seen so many beers on a set. Okay, because every time you turned around, there was another bottle of beer, or a beer was being. So it was quite funny, but so well done. It was a real pleasure. And it's hard actually because we've been spoiled with all of this content that just comes out, and that we get to watch the full series. But here, we were all like, okay, we have to wait. We have to wait till the next week to watch the next episode. And it was good. It's actually good for us because we've gotten a little spoiled by having all the content spill out all at once.
That's very true. And it gives us time to wait and enjoy it. And it also gives us time to do other things other than, you know what I mean?
Yes, most definitely.
Yes. And since we're almost out of time, describe the movie in 3 words.
Profound, entertaining, and revealing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lisa, for taking the time. I truly appreciate you. Congratulations on everything. And I can't wait to talk to you again when your next feature comes out.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Good luck with everything and talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sammi.
Thank you. Bye.